my prayers since, because I knew his results would be out and everything, and I was like, I hope he passes at least.
Passes. That's so nice. That's so nice. So you were sprinkling your own share of magic dust on him, and
Yes,
it
yes,
worked.
yes,
So
yes, and it
nice.
worked, and it worked. I was really happy.
Yeah. So
Ruchi,
yes,
yeah, I wanted
Acha,
to
your
say,
video
which
is
is,
off. Yeah.
what I'm going to tell you is not, may not be riches for anybody else, but it was the most enriching experience for me,
Yeah.
because there is this couple, and remember that you had said three people, and then you sprinkle the
Magic
dust
dust.
and your
Yes.
magical
Yes.
dust, and the equation is that the wife is absolutely stunning in always inside out, very good human being and
Hmm.
everything, and we get along very, 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 very well.
Hmm.
And the husband is by the virtue of our behavior also, now I believe that it is also what we give to the other person is what you're getting. The equation wasn't very prominent or very something to write, because the contrast was so much that we could talk about it. Otherwise, if the wife and both are lukewarm, then it's no nothing. But every
Right.
time you met the couple, it was that halki si kirkir kind of a thing.
Hmm.
So after that call that I got, you remember I said I
Yes.
had
Yes.
given,
Yes.
I took the husband as my my subject, and every day I was showering the family with lots of magical dust.
Magic
And I've
dust.
always believed that I'm rich in my riches, but I'm richer in my equations and my relationships.
Hmm.
So, and I always believe that, when a good relationship, I feel very happy. Both of us feel very happy. So, I was sprinkling and all that and all, and I there was then what happened that this friend's cook fell very sick, and she was just talking. I said, "Acha, tera cook bimar hai." So she said, "Yeah," and they don't have drivers or anything at
Hmm.
home
Hmm.
now, because. So I said, "I will send some food across to your place."
Hmm.
So she said, "नहीं नहीं, हमारे flat में neighbors are very good. They will."
Hmm.
I said, "नहीं, I will send you some food."
Hmm.
Never mind. So immediately in the evening, she called me up and she said, "Thank you so much. Um, you sent me such excellent food, and it was so nicely packed and all that and all." I said, "Thank you." Nothing. I was saying, "I'm so glad." I said, "Did your husband like it?" He said, "Ha ha ha." She's also embarrassed
Yes.
by his behavior also.
Right. Right.
अच्छा, तो मैंने ना मैं I continue to shower my
Magic.
gratitude, and showering. I was imagining hearts are falling over him and all that and all.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yesterday, after almost what हो गया 10 दिन के बाद में, he
Hmm.
wrote such a beautiful note thanking me for being so kind about the and seeing the details that you has made what I like, and thank you so much. मैं ना मेरे तो हाथ में से I was holding my pen when I was reading it, literally fell down. I said, there is so much power in this, but we will belittle it because for somebody it may not be कि अच्छा फोन आ गया तुमने तो भेजा था इसीलिए उसने उसने
Phone call.
thank you बोला.
Absolutely.
For a man to write to a woman
And that
saying
too,
thank
somebody.
you
Yes.
after 10 days, not 10 days, it must be a week maybe, yeah, not 10 days, because she,
Yeah.
there were three days into
Right.
after she had written to me.
Right.
I was like saying, I said, thank you. So you like I was saying the check, I said as a check of love. I mean, the returns are in form of love that is you're so
Yes.
enriched with these experience. So I was just saying thank you so much. And when I was taking my bath today, I was saying कि मैं अपनी हर एक part का नाम. So I said अच्छे अच्छे नाम. Naam, I was calling my face. Snow White, Rapunzel, how are you, Rapunzel? And I was just thinking, I said it becomes so profound because you start being in the moment of now. Because I'm ले रहे हैं, नहा रहे हैं, brushing my body. I've started brushing my body with more, because I feel कि जब मैं I'm spending more time with that part of the body. Because otherwise क्या है, नहाओगे तो आपने soap ऐसा लगाया, but when you're brushing and you're imagining the circulation going to the
The
heart,
circulation.
I said,
Absolutely.
so thank you so much. I think
Thank you.
this
Thank you so much. You
week
know,
has,
I'm going to pick up the point that you said today. I'm going to pick it up a little later in the chapter because, like you said, it's very profound in terms of what you return, what you get back in return. Not just in,
absolutely.
yeah, not just in terms of money, which I also say is very important. But one of the
Yeah,
chapters
but
we will be
but
doing,
but the point, yesterday somebody sent me Thai curry and jasmine rice, sticky rice, and I was just telling Anup, I said, see, money. He said, money कैसे हुआ? I said, money नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि हम नहीं तो we would have bought this dish.
yes,
Imagine, from the park, it was our favorite thing, and she has made the Thai curry exactly like the park.
the
So
part.
he's looking
Wow.
at me. He says, "It's your change of your, the way you have started looking." I said, "Obviously, you have to look at it with grace. Mila, मैं अच्छा मैं भी भेज दूंगी. That's not it. It
Yeah,
is what you receive,
yeah,
and obviously there should be a two-way traffic. To
yes,
receive, you should be able to give, or when you give, if you receive, it becomes more profound. So
absolutely, absolutely.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Somebody must have found it in lakhs, but I am feeling enriched more than a lakh, because when your relationships become better, I think the whole atmosphere. Yesterday, I was like, जैसे होता है ना, पंख होती तो उड़ जाती मैं. It was like that.
You're feeling so nice and light.
To believe in your, the power of yourself, that I have it in me. I don't have to seek it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Otherwise we go to the god, and we always think कि सुन रहे कि नहीं सुन रहे, उनके तो बहुत सारे लोग हैं, लेकिन हम जब दे रहे हैं, हम अट्रैक्ट कर रहे हैं, हम हैं. That is the power of.
That's so
Yes,
nice.
Babita.
I'm going to be talking about it today in the second chapter because that talks about a lot of the natural things around us and how we are not even at one level so consciously aware of it. And right now, that one element is so important for us in this pandemic times. So the chapter is extremely relevant, and we do it in the second chapter. And I'll bring this thought out at that time. So thank you so much for sharing
Thank
that.
you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Babita, we're all waiting for your
I
story.
think it's six. No, should we
No,
start or shall I
no
do? Is
problem.
that
It's
okay?
2 minutes to 6. We'll hear your story first. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had discussed with Ruchi regarding this, and I just told her this money matter is there. And so, what shall I do? And when it was Money Magnets Day, 13th of July, that exercise had come. And touch wood, I'm a sincere student. If I enroll somewhere, I will do up to the mark what is told. So the moment she told you take a printout and do that, so what I did was went to my office and I immediately took the printout. And the first major customer, he was delaying from past 9 months, and one of
Wow.
the biggest names in the industry, Tata Projects, one of the biggest name in the industry, and the amount was also huge.
Hmm.
So we've tried all the methods, mailed each and every person, but it was to no use. So I told my husband, you write, because his handwriting is pretty neat. So I told, you write the check and you just have put it in the universe. As Ruchi told word to word, I told him, you just do this. And of course, husbands are really obedient. So he did the same thing. And we exactly kept it below the office table where the glass is there. So below that we put. And I made it a point to see this twice or thrice a day. And actually, I had also kept it exactly below where my husband sits in
Okay.
that cabin.
Hmm.
13th of July evening, my son is studying in Melbourne. So he kept listening about this and he read even about the magic check.
Hmm.
So he told, okay, why don't I do one thing? I'll contact all the top officials of Tata Projects.
Hmm.
So 30th evening, he took all the mail IDs of those people and mailed everybody. 13th evening. 13th night at 11 o'clock, I received a mail. It was mail in the office inbox, of course. This synced with me that we will process your payments. So I thought, okay, let me wait, because each time they cut the money and they give. 14th July, surprisingly, got a mail from the MD had replied to another person. Satya, solve this matter immediately. So Amit was like, Amit, Mama, sure you're going to get this. I
Yes.
don't wait, let it come. 14th night, I'm receiving a mail that payment advice is there. 14th night, I clicked the screenshot and I kept it.
Hmm.
And yesterday morning, by afternoon, that money had come literally in my bank. I was like,
Wow.
I was in awe. I immediately called up Ruchi. Of course, I cried of tears
Yes.
of gratitude, thanked the magic book. See, whatever be the circumstances, but it was there from past 9 months. And
Yes.
now for it to complete
Clear
it,
out.
yes, clear it out,
True,
and
true.
the whole money had come. So
Yeah.
thank you to the magic book, to Ruchi. Thank you,
Thank
because you
you.
aided in my relief of mind. Thank
Yeah.
you. So it
So,
So
works just that faith should be there, as
yes,
she said, and I now believe that miracles happen to people who believe in it.
believe in it.
So thanks a
Absolutely.
lot.
Babita
Yeah,
Bhabhi, I would say congratulations. And this is actually a miracle in quarantine. You have
Yes.
yeah,
exactly.
got your money back.
exactly.
This is actually a magic.
Lovely.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah.
But I like to say a few things over here, which I think are very important. And if it is creating a doubt in your mind that you're seeing other people share their stories and miracles are happening in their life or magic is happening in their life, and why is it not happening in my life? Let me tell you about, I don't know Rachna so well in the sense that before this 15, 16 days, I really had no idea. But I do know Anita and Babita very well, and I know a couple of others also in the group very well. You have to know that Anita and Babita come from a space where they are very strongly into meditation, into believing in themselves, having the spiritual guru, working towards that. So they've been in this space for a very long time. And now, if things so big are happening in their life, in terms of a big amount of check, if it is coming in, or if more healed relationships that are happening, it is also because they have been in this space for a long time. Okay, so right now they are just taking off. It's like their engine and their power and everything was ready, the fuel is all ready, it's just been set on fire, right? But for some of us, and I include myself in that, for some of us, we are still in the process of getting there. I don't know how many of y'all do your meditations, I don't know how many of y'all have a spiritual guru or work more on bringing out your negativity and bringing in more positivity in your life. So there are a lot of elements which have gone into these people, and now they are taking off. Okay, so please understand, your first step is to start working on yourself, and whether it is through your meditations, whether it is through removing the negativity in and around you, first in you, and then that will start resonating with people around you. But a lot of work has to go into you before you start seeing these kind of magical changes. Okay, so this is just my request to you. Don't think that अरे उसके साथ क्यों हो रहा है, अरे मेरे साथ क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, वो तो बहुत लकी है, उसका तो सब चीज सही होता है. Please don't allow these thoughts to come here. Remember that you have an ant, and an ant has just pricked you, and just change that thought around and say, I'm so happy for her, I'm so glad it's happening in her life, I'm so happy it is going to start to manifest in my life as well. Okay, and keep in mind that you have to first clear out everything on your end. I saw this really nice video, and I'm going to take a little time because I think this is more important and relevant, and then we will get into the chapter. I saw a really nice video where they explained the concept of where will more negativity come in. Okay, and they explained it with the help of two dustbins. They said, imagine there is dustbin A, which is empty, it has no garbage in it, and look at dustbin B, which is filled with garbage. Now they were explaining it more in terms of food. If your body has a lot of junk food, fast food, everything inside, you are bound to attract more disease to you, because the disease is more like those mosquitoes, those flies, all those things which will get attracted to a tin or to a dustbin which has got garbage in it. So now also look at it from this point of view, that all the negativity that you have inside you is that dustbin with the garbage full. So unless you remove all that garbage out and you do not clear that garbage out, more positive things or healthy things like an empty dustbin will not be coming to you. I don't know whether it made sense to you, but I want you to understand an empty dustbin jiske andar kuch nahi hai, it's absolutely clean, and a dirty dustbin which is filled with garbage, where will the flies be attracted? Where will all the negative things be attracted? Where they are already getting something to eat. Okay, so the negativity is in you, and if people are more and more negative people coming towards you, it's because you are attracting it, since you have that negativity inside you. It's an extremely deep thought. I don't know whether you resonate with it or not, but please give it some thought. But if you are empty, if you are clean from inside, you are not going to attract dirt, or you're not going to attract the mosquitoes, but what you're going to attract is a lot of beautiful things. Although it is still a dustbin, I'm not changing it and I'm saying it's a beautiful flower pot. I'm not doing that. I'm still calling it a dustbin, but it's an empty, clean dustbin. So please understand, at one level, as and when you're cleansing yourself, you're making more and more room for magic to come in. So that is the first step. So please don't look at it and say immediately कि चलो भाई अब हम सब आज बैठ के मैजिक चेक लिखेंगे, बबीता के साथ हुआ है, हमारे साथ भी होएगा, आपके साथ भी होएगा, but that cleansing has to happen first. Please understand from where she is coming, and that's why I'm telling a little story about her, because I want you to know that her, if I may say that, Babita, but the dustbin is empty. Yeah. So
one more thing I forgot to add.
Yes.
When I spoke to you and you said you think, you process the thoughts that usko zarurat thi, usne rakhi, ab wapas mujhe de do, it's my money and I want it back.
Yes.
So I kept that feeling, okay, tumko zarurat thi, tumne nahi diya, ab humko de do, humko zarurat hai. So that feeling also was
this
there.
was a discussion we had with Babita and I had the first time we discussed money. And she said, what do we do about debtors? How do we not get angry with debtors? I said, so one change that you can probably have towards your debtors is, looks like you need the money right now. I hope the money has helped you. Now I need the money back. So please give it back. So that was a shift in thought that we kind of processed and we brought it out together. And I'm so glad, you're so open as students, or you're so open to new learning, that it really manifests. So I want to say thank you for being a grade A student, if I may give you any grades.
Thank you.
Okay, so I hope you understood the concept of that dirty dustbin and an empty dustbin, because it's important. Get yourself in that space first, and then the miracles start to happen. But to expect miracles, that miracles are not happening or magic is not happening with me, please also look at how you are as a person. The more you cleanse, the better you will get at it. Okay, so that's the word of caution. So who's going to be reading today?
Can I read?
We have 2 chapters. I'm going to be reading the second one because it's relevant and I want to do it in a particular way. But who's going to read the first one?
Ruchi, can I read?
Yeah, who's this?
I'm Sunita Jain.
Yeah, hi Sunita. Sure.
Yeah. Am I clear?
Yes, you're clear. You're audible.
Okay.
I'm just going to share the screen. Yeah. 1 second. Yeah, can you read it?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, all right. Sorry, I'll just tell the name of the chapter. Sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before your very eyes.
Yeah, day 22 before
day
your
20.
very eyes. Yeah.
Day 22 before your very eyes.
Please can everybody keep your microphones on mute, because we're on speaker view. It will keep shifting to... I think, yeah, okay. She's put it on mute. Yes, this world,
after all our science and sciences, is still a miracle. Wonderful, inscrutable, magical, and more to whosoever will think of it. Thomas
this
Carlyle.
world, after all our science and sciences, is still a miracle. Wonderful, inscrutable, magical, and more to whosoever will think of it. So in spite of all the scientific advancements and everything that we have, there is still a lot of magic. There is still a lot of miracles. That it's wonderful, it's inscrutable, it's magical. Inscrutable in the sense that it has things which are really not defined or which can be defined by us. So things happen which are not even, some are things that which we are not even aware of. And more whosoever will think of it, which means those who believe in it are the ones who will also be receiving it. Yes, 7 years ago.
7 years ago, when I first discovered the secret and the magical power of gratitude, I made a list of all of my desires. It was a long list. At that time, there seemed to be no possible way my desires could come true. Nevertheless, I took my top 10 desires and I carried them with me on a piece of paper every day. Whenever I had an opportunity, I would take out my list and read through it, giving as much gratitude for each desire as I could. Though I had received with my number one, sorry, no, I just,
Yeah.
yeah, though I had received it with my number one desire, I'm sorry, just a minute. The screen is not.
I
With
think
my number one desire, the desire I wanted more than anything else, I kept it constantly in my mind, and I would say the magic words thank you for it multiple times in a day and feel as if it had come true. One by one, every desire on my list magically appeared before my very eyes. As I received my desires, I would cross them off my list, and when I had new desires, I would add them to my list.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking in this particular chapter about your desires and your wish list. Okay, so those who have still not made it, and those who are still, have kept it, or they have thought about it, but they're not, but they're being lazy about writing it down. Can please everybody keep your microphones on mute? It's on speaker view, so it just keeps changing. Yeah, thank you. So those who have still not written it, now is your chance to write it all over again. Okay, and what she's going to teach us today is again a practice wherein we are constantly looking at our wish and desires. That's why it says right before my eyes, or under my eyes, or where I can see it all the time. Okay, and she talks about how all her desires kept getting fulfilled one after the other, which means to the list of desires you can keep adding more and more. Okay, so it's all about your desires today. Yes.
One of my desires from my original long list was to travel to Bora Bora near Tahiti. After spending a beautiful week at the exact place in Bora Bora I had listed, another beautiful thing happened. I was flying to the mainland of Tahiti on my way home when the airplane stopped en route to pick up passengers. The flight had been empty, but it filled up to the brim with native Tahitians, and suddenly laughter, smiling faces, and a happiness that was palpable surrounded me. As I enjoyed the short flight with these beautiful people, it became crystal clear to me the reason why they were so happy. They were grateful. They were grateful to be alive. They were grateful to be on the airplane. They were grateful to be with each other. They were grateful for where they were going. They were grateful for everything. I could have stayed on that plane and traveled around the world with them. It felt so good to be with them. And then it struck me that I had just received my final desire. Bora Bora was the last desire on my original long list, and the reason I was on that plane was before my very eyes gratitude.
Lovely. So she's sharing one of her experiences of a destination that she wanted to go on, and how it was all working, and how she felt so happy when she also saw the people who had boarded the flight. Okay, I've shared.
I've shared this story as an inspiration for you because no matter how big your desires seem to be, you can receive them through gratitude. Even more than that, gratitude will bring a joy and happiness for life that you've never felt, before, and that is truly priceless. From the time I began using gratitude and the law of attraction to the time I received my final desire on my original list was 4 years. To give you an idea of the enormousness of receiving all my desires in that amount of time, when I created my desire list, my company was $2 million in debt, and I had 2 months before I would be forced to shut it down and would lose my home and everything I owned. The money I owned on my personal credit cards was a small fortune, and yet on my desire list was to own a big house overlooking the ocean, to travel to exotic places in the world, to have paid all my debts, to expand my company, to restore every relationship to the best it could be, improve the quality of my family's lives, to be 100% healthy again, and have unlimited energy and excitement for life, along with the usual list of material things. And my number one desire, which seemed like an absolute impossibility to many of the people around me, was to bring joy to millions of people through my work. The very first that I received was the very first desire that I received was bringing joy to millions of people through my work. The rest of my desires magically followed. And one by one, as they appeared before my very eyes, I crossed them off my list.
Okay, so what she's telling is a little bit about her story and how she was in debt, let alone having a magnificent, beautiful ocean view house. She was in debt, and how from a place of debt, she manifested and through gratitude had almost a 360-degree turnaround. And that is the story that she is telling us all about. The very first desire that I received was bringing joy to millions of people through my work. The rest of my desires magically followed, and one by one, as they appeared before my very eyes, I crossed them off my list. So now,
So now it's your turn to use gratitude's magical power to make your desires appear before your very eyes. At the start of the day, take your top 10 desire list that you created. Read through each sentence and desire on your list, and for 1 minute, imagine or visualize that you have received your desire.
just a second. Yeah.
Feel as much gratitude as you can, as if you have it now. Carry your desire list with you today in your pocket. On at least 2 occasions in the day, take out your list, read through it, and feel as much gratitude for each one as you can, as though you have received it. If you want your desires to come more quickly, I would highly recommend that you carry your desire list with you in your wallet or purse from this day forward. And whenever you have time, open it up, read through it, and feel as much gratitude as you can for each one. When your desires appear before your very eyes, cross them off your list and add more. And if you are like me, each time you cross a desire off your list, you will be in tears of joy because what seemed impossible was made possible through the magical power of gratitude.
Yeah, so it's a very simple lesson because she's talking about the desires list that she has. What I like to share with everybody is where I keep my desires list from the time that I did this practice last month. I have my desires list here at the back of my cell phone. Okay, so we got, most of us have cell phone covers. So what I did was I wrote it down on a post-it note and I kept it behind, and it is kept folded on this post-it note like this behind my cell phone. So I just have it stuck here. So all through the day, one person who's a stronger companion to us than anybody else is our cell phone. So wherever we go, we have this cell phone with us. So all I do is I have it at the back like this on a post-it note. And every time, I'm not saying all the time I'm doing it, but many a times what happens is I look at it and in some way or the other, I read a part of it. And that's all I'm trying to say, that keep it before your very eyes. You could even want to keep it maybe inside your wallet or another place where you can see it. If you want everybody to be knowing about your desires from beforehand, your family and all of them, then you can also put it up on your mirror or somewhere. But carrying it around with you all day long is to say that this is what I want for myself. And this, every now and then, you keep getting focused back onto your goals. Okay, so what is important is to know that you have these desires, no matter how big, no matter how impossible they seem at the moment, but they will definitely work out if you stay constantly in gratitude, keeping your eyes on the desire list. Okay, so this is about that. I have shown you where I keep mine, which is just for an example. You can keep it in a similar space. It really works because it's very handy. It's right with you all the time, so you keep seeing it every now and then. Okay, so that was my example of where I use it. And now we'll read through the magical practice number 22. Yes.
Magic practice number 22, before your very eyes. Number 1, count your blessings. Make a list of 10 blessings. Write why you're grateful. Reread your list, and at the end of each blessing, say thank you, thank you, thank you, and feel as grateful for that blessing as you can. The number 2, at the start of the day, take your top 10 desire list that you created. 3, read through each sentence and desire on your list, and for 1 minute, imagine or visualize that you have received your desire. Feel as much gratitude as you can. Fourth, carry your desire list with you today in your pocket. On at least 2 occasions in the day, take out your list, read through it, and feel as much gratitude as you can. And lastly, just before you go to sleep tonight, hold your magic rock in one hand and say the magic words, "Thank you for the best thing that happened during the day."
Yeah. Thank you, Sunita, for reading. And Anita
Thank
has
you. Thank you.
visualized that
Yeah.
you're going to read it today.
Yeah. I've been meaning to from a long time. Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry if I couldn't give you an opportunity, but I'm so
No,
glad.
no, no. It was my initiative that was lacking. Yeah.
Thank you.
So tomorrow Anita will read now.
Yes.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a very simple activity to do, and it is amazing how yesterday we did the heart exercise with our desires list, and today we are again going back to the desires list where we are being asked to write it down and keep it at a place where we can see it all the time. Okay, so whatever that place is, please do it while you are. What happened was, first my desires list was in a book, in my gratitude book. And then when I had to shift it to a post-it note, I automatically started reading it all over again. So today, when you rewrite it in a space where you can see it over and over again, spend 1 minute with every desire of yours and say thank you as if you have already received that particular gift, whatever that is, whether it is something related to your health, something related to your wealth, something related to your career, your growth, or something in a relationship. I want you to start looking at that list all over again. So that's the only thing that you have to do for the day to day as activity, because the next chapter I will be doing with you, I will make you do the exercise right now in the morning itself. So you don't have to do that exercise, but what you need to do is definitely this one on the desires and wish list. Anybody who would like to share anything at this point?
Ruchi,
Yes, Archana. Good morning. Yeah.
when we write this list concisely,
Yes.
do we write it as we have already received it?
Yes.
Thank you for
Yes.
this, or just the first dream list that we put down?
No, I would prefer if you write it down as thank you. Because
Okay.
when you read it also, you will end up reading it and starting it with a thank you. Never mind if
Okay.
it's a slightly longer list. If you don't want to put all your 10 desires on a post-it note, I've written it front and back. So, every once in a while when I change the cover or I take it out or whatever, I change it around. So maybe sometimes I read 5 lists, 5 desires, and sometimes I list 5. Or if it's a big enough phone, or I mean, I'm just talking about the phone, but it could be in your wallet, it could be somewhere that you're seeing it constantly. You can have it at
Right.
smaller post-it notes. Okay, so in whichever way you would like to do it, you can definitely do it, but the focus
Okay.
shifts back into your desires. And she's given not her entire elaborate story, but she has told how, from a space of debt, from a space where her company was in debt and she probably thought she'll have to shut down the company, she moved not only into touching so many lives, but also getting her desires of living in probably a beautiful house on the ocean side, or near the seaside, or whether she traveled to all these exotic locations. All of that started happening, and everything was through her gratitude. So that's why she's given so much importance, that this is one thing that you have to be in space all through the day. All through the day, through various activities, whether it is taking magic footsteps, whether it is dusting someone with gratitude or your magic dust, or whether it is saying when an email comes in or a phone call comes in and you say it's going to have a magnificent outcome, or whether when you write your to-do list, you say it's a magical to-do list. At every step, she's giving us something to be in a space of gratitude. And she also gives us these exercises, which I feel are very important, where one day you focus on 10 people you'll be grateful for, one day you focus on 3 people on whom you want to shower your magic dust, one day you look at a negative relationship or a negative event or a negative situation in your life, and how do you bless it with gratitude. So these are all add-ons on every day that she has been teaching. Which day you feel like using which tool is completely up to you. There's no hard and fast rule, there's no sequence to it. Whichever day you feel that I'm feeling negative, I'm feeling, annoyed, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling jealous, I'm feeling envious, then at that moment, take out a paper and say, what am I feeling envious about? Whom am I feeling jealous about? Write down the name of the person and then send a lot of love and gratitude to that person. There'll be a shift in the way you start feeling. So she's giving us various tools all through the day. And the next chapter is even more beautiful because it's the essence of where we are and how we are, and something that we completely survive on, and that's the air we breathe. And that is so relevant today because of all the strengthening immunity, lungs, breathing exercises, all of which we are being now rethinking, revisiting during the pandemic times, where we've been, where we realize that it's totally in our hands how we protect ourselves. And this chapter is about showing gratitude to the air we breathe. So I will be making you do a few exercises while I read it. And that's why I said I like to read that chapter. But she takes us back to very, very basics: the air that we breathe, the food that we eat, the steps that we take, the phone calls that we receive, the people we interact with. At every step, she's giving us something, or a tool by which we can use gratitude. But two things which are absolutely mandatory, and I don't think I need to repeat it, but I'll still do it, is your 10 blessings that you give every single day, and the magic rock. These are two things that you cannot be compromising on. Anything else, अगर आज चलो आपके 100 thank you steps नहीं हुए, आज अपने किसी के ऊपर magic dust नहीं डाला, you did not use the magic ingredient, it's fine. But these two things are extremely important. You cannot do by, you cannot start coming into a space of gratitude without doing these two things. So these two things are very, very, very vital. Okay, so I'm going to start reading the next chapter, and then as and when I move along, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for certain sections of the book. Please do that, because I'll take you through a little exercise of visualizing, and also a certain part of the book which I want you all to do as a breathing exercise right now. Okay, so we will do it from there. Day 23, the magical air that you breathe. It is quite possible to leave your home for a walk in the early morning air and return a different person, beguiled, enchanted. So we all have felt this at some time or the other when we've gone for a morning walk, and the Chennai weather supports us so much at this moment that it would be magical if we could go out right now for a walk. So maybe once we finish, and if the weather continues like this, just take a 10-minute walk, even if it's around the building, if it's on your terrace, if it is just close by here. But we come back very, very enchanted and beguiled meaning full of energy at one level. And that's what this chapter is all about. If someone had told me a few years back to be grateful for the air that I breathe, I would have thought the person was crazy. It wouldn't have made a bit of sense to me. Why on earth would anyone be grateful for the air they breathe? But as my life changed from using gratitude, the things that I took for granted or didn't give a second thought about became an absolute miracle to me. I went from sweating the small stuff in my little world and day to day life to opening my eyes and thinking about the bigger picture and the wonder of the universe. So, when we all get into the space of gratitude, we don't look at the smaller things in life. We want only the bigger things to start working for us in our life. It's like saying, if I get that, only then I believe magic happens. If I move as far as that, I know magic happens. But we are leaving out the smaller little things of magic or miracle that are happening in our lives on a day-to-day basis. And there is yet another beautiful chapter to come on magical cues, which explains this even more beautifully. Is someone's phone on? I think Sumant, your phone. And there's beautiful from it. Yeah, thank you so much. So, as my life changed from using gratitude, the little things that I had taken for granted. So, it's in the smaller things that we take for granted, wherein are the steps for the bigger things. And Rachna, I'd like to bring in what you said over here, that earlier maybe we would have brushed it aside and said, "Acha, theek hai, thank you ही तो बोला है." And thank you तो बोलेगा ही because मैंने उसके लिए खाना भेजा था. And as a courtesy, as an etiquette, the person said thank you, but you were able to identify and say that if it was for this gentleman to send you a message, it was really a big thing. It was like magic that was happening. So this magic, once we start to recognize, the minute we recognize the magic, it immediately puts us in a space of joy, and that space of joy then attracts more and more miracles in our lives. So that's what I wanted to point out to you, that you were able to look at the small thing which otherwise we take for granted, and otherwise we say, हाँ what's the big deal अगर thank you भेजा तो, naturally thank you तो उसको भेजना ही चाहिए था, at least उसमें इतनी manners तो है, at least उसमें इतना etiquette तो है that he is able to say a thank you. Okay, so but you were able to identify it, which means you are not looking at the smaller things, you're not taking that for granted, and there is a shift that is happening in your perspective. And that is what I wanted to say, that smaller things, when we have a shift, is when we invite the bigger things to start happening in our lives. As the great scientist Newton said, when I look at the solar system, I see the earth at the right distance from the sun to receive the proper amounts of heat and light. This did not happen by chance. So look at how Newton or all these physicists are looking at everything in the universe, and they are saying the universe itself is a miracle, where we are at the right distance with the right amount of sunlight, heat, everything from the sun, which is what has made life possible on Earth. And we are yet to know whether it is there on Mars or whether it is on Jupiter or any of the other planets, but definitely you and I are here on this planet, so life is possible. So that in itself is a big, big miracle. Those words make me think more and more about the bigger picture. It's not an accident that there is a protective atmosphere surrounding us, and that beyond it, there's no air or oxygen. When you go out into the space, there is no air, and there is no air even on moon. So how is it that we have an atmosphere just protecting us so that we have what we need to survive, the air, and the atmosphere which is holding the air back into the earth and not letting it escape into universe, because if it was escaping into space, we would not have the oxygen and we would not be breathing and surviving today. It's not an accident that the trees give off oxygen so that our atmosphere is continuously replenished. It is a miracle that we have this beautiful system of exchange between the trees and us. While we give out the carbon dioxide that they need, they give us back oxygen in return, which we need. So these systems are miracles in themselves. It's not an accident that our solar system is perfectly placed, and that if it were anywhere else in the galaxy, we would most likely be devastated by cosmic radiation. There are thousands of parameters and ratios that support life on Earth, and all of them are a knife edge, and their fine tuning is so critical that a fraction of a difference in any of these parameters and ratios would make life unbelievable on planet Earth. It is difficult to believe any of these things could have happened by accident. It would seem that they are perfectly designed, perfectly placed, perfectly balanced for us. So now think about it, that the very planet Earth that we are on. So she's taking us now into a bigger picture while she's asking us to be in connection with the smaller things that are happening in your life. Also, look at a larger picture. And it's a very philosophical chapter, if I may say so, because it makes you think at a larger, bigger picture, that or a bigger goal, purpose that you are there on this planet for. So, why planet Earth? Okay, and how planet Earth is so beautifully designed, Mother Earth is so beautifully designed that it is at the right distance from the earth, so that the energies that we need to receive from the sun are exactly right, not too close, not too far, but at the exact distance. Our earth is spinning, so it is giving us our day and night, it is giving us our revolution, our revolution and seasons and all of that. Excuse me. It has the atmosphere which is holding the air back. It has the gravity which is keeping the air in place. It has got all these parameters and ratios in terms of the trees, in terms of our breathing cycle, in terms of what we take in and what we give out, which are all beautifully designed, and it's miraculous at one level. And that's why we are in a space of miracle. When you just sit down and you think, how the hell on planet Earth are we surviving? What is all so beautiful? And it's not a geography lesson that we have learned or a science lesson that we have learned. What makes life possible on Earth? One of our favorite chapters that we've been doing. But now, at a deeper philosophical level, I want you to think about it, on how magical the whole planet is. When the realization hits you that all these things might not be an accident, and that the balance of every microscopic element surrounding Earth and on Earth is in perfect harmony to support us, you will feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude for life because of all that it has done to sustain you. So now just take a moment of pause. I want you to close your eyes for just a minute and thank the universe, thank the planet Earth, thank the sun, thank Earth for being at the right distance from the sun. Thank the force of gravity which holds the air back. Thank the atmosphere which is holding all this back in its place. Thank the trees which are giving us the right amount of oxygen. Thank your body, thank your lungs, which is giving out the carbon dioxide and is taking the air in, or taking the oxygen in. And thank and believe and understand that the whole purpose of us being on this planet has to be larger, because we've been gifted with a miracle like planet Earth. Okay, so I want you to spend a moment and think about all these things I have done, and feel the sense of joy that we are at the right time, at the right place, to be able to have air around us, the very thing that we sustain ourselves on. And that's the air that we breathe. And Mother Earth is protecting us. Mother Earth is in perfect harmony to support us. And that will give us an overwhelming sense for life, because all that Mother Earth has done just so that you can sustain your life on this earth. So take this moment also to thank Mother Earth for all that she has done for you, and she's continuing to do for you. Thank you. The magical air that you breathe is not an accident or a fluke of nature. When you think about the enormousness of what had to take place in the universe for us to have air, and you then take a breath, breathing air into your body becomes breathtaking in every sense of the word. Now imagine kitne papad bele hoenge for earth to be at the exact distance, to have the atmosphere, to protect the air, for the first microscopic cell to have taken place in the oceans, and how it created more lives, and then it from that it processed and processed and processed till it came down to a level where from become from monkeys, we've evolved into becoming human beings. So all the processes that have taken place for you to have the air that you breathe, that we take so much for granted. We take one breath after another and never give a thought to the fact that there is always air for us to breathe. Yet, oxygen is one of the most plentiful elements in our body, and as we breathe, it feeds every cell in our body so that we can continue to live. The most precious gift of our life is air, because without it, none of us would last more than a few minutes. And the whole gratitude that we feel for air is more and more when we lack air. Okay, and this is what happened with one of our friends when we were on the Everest base camp, and we had reached a height of 18,000 feet, and the oxygen levels are really low at that time. And if you do not have good immunity, or if you do not drink enough water, because believe it or not, your source of oxygen is not coming from the air, because the air is very rarefied. The air is very, very thin high up in the mountain. Your source of oxygen is actually your water. So if you don't drink enough water, if you don't keep yourself hydrated, and it's so cold that you don't feel like drinking water, and then it is also so cold that you don't want to keep using the restroom again and again, that you end up not drinking water. But that's your source of oxygen, so you have to drink water. So whatever be the reason, this friend fell really sick, and she was at the last leg called Gorak shape, beyond which is the next place is your Everest base camp. At Gorak shape, she fell extremely sick, and we had to use an oxygen cylinder, and her oxygen levels started dipping. It was coming down to 50, 60. So till we did not give her the oxygen cylinder, she was not stabilizing with her breath, and that's when you understand how precious the air around us is and how much we take it for granted. When you don't have it is when you begin to realize how much more gratitude you need to have for it. So that's one time that the rest of us who are there on the trek, we were feeling so grateful that we have in our body the systems to hold the air that is around us, and she was not able to do it, and therefore we had to use an external source. So we were so grateful that the oxygen cylinders were there. Medically she was attended to, and next day morning we had to fly her out from there immediately, and she had to fly all the way to Kathmandu from 18,000 feet. So it was at that moment that we realized how important air is. And right now, the only reason I'm sharing that experience is for you to imagine that when you are in a space where you don't have it, is when you begin to show gratitude for it. When I first began to use gratitude's magical power, I used it for a lot of personal things that I wanted, and it worked. But it was when I began to be grateful for the real gifts in life that I experienced the ultimate power of gratitude. The more grateful I became for a sunset, a tree, the ocean, the dew on the grass, my life, and the people in it, every material thing I've ever dreamt of having poured down upon me. Now, very, very interesting. When I started looking at the smaller things that can give me joy, whether it is looking at a sunset, whether it is walking on the beach with the cold sand beneath it and the water coming towards us, or whether it is sharing a cup of coffee with your loved one, or any of these things which can give us so much joy. The experience of it can give us so much joy. When I started showing gratitude for these things which are available free of cost, it's just that I have to tune myself into gratitude for it, the other material things started pouring in. Okay, so when you start showing gratitude for really the things that are sustaining you on planet earth, the other things start coming in. So whether it is the air, the food, the relationships, the money that gets the food in the first place, our career, our growth, all those things will start falling into place once we start showing gratitude for the very basis of life. I now understand the reason why it happened that way. When we can feel truly grateful for the precious gifts of life and nature, like the magical air that we breathe, we have reached one of the deepest possible levels of gratitude. And whoever has that depth of gratitude will receive absolute abundance. So, the minute you can start being very grateful for Mother Nature and everything that she is giving us to sustain us on planet Earth, we are reaching into a very, very deep level of abundance. And from there, we will only attract more and more abundance in our lives. Today, stop and think about the glorious air that you breathe. And I would like you to close your eyes right now. I will take you through this exercise. Take 5 deliberate breaths and feel the feeling of the air moving inside your body and feel the joy of breathing it out. So I'm going to do this slowly. Take a deep breath in, hold your breath for a second, and exhale deeply. I hope everybody is breathing correct. When you inhale, your stomach should become larger, or you should fill your stomach up. And when you exhale, your stomach should become empty, or it should move inwards. So if you are not sure about it, please keep your hand on your stomach while you're doing it and consciously inflate and deflate. When you inhale, your stomach should move outwards, and when you exhale, the stomach should start moving inwards. So please do this very consciously. Put your hand on your stomach and do this. Take another deep breath in. Inhale. Hold your breath for a second and exhale. See whether you're doing it correctly. Inhale again. Hold your breath and exhale. Now, the next 2 times, you're going to thank the air that you're breathing in and out. As you take the air in, say thank you to this beautiful air which is now moving inside my body and which is giving me the gift of life. Exhale and say thank you to all the carbon dioxide which is leaving my body, which has served a purpose and now leaving. Take another deep breath, very deliberately, and say thank you so much for the air that I'm breathing in, for the oxygen that the air carries, for the oxygen which is now going to go into my lungs and then spread to the rest of our body, giving each and every cell in our body the oxygen that it requires. Say thank you so much, air, for doing this for me. And now exhale and say thank you to the carbon dioxide for leaving my body, for having served a purpose, and say, feel the joy of breathing it out. Take 5 full breaths in and out at 5 different times today. And after you have taken each set of 5 breaths, say the magic words, thank you for the magical air that I breathe, and be as genuinely grateful as you can for the precious, life giving air that you breathe. So, 1 time we have already done. Now, 5 more times I want you to do it. So maybe 1 time today, as soon as you write your blessings list, 1 time just before you're going to have your breakfast, 1 time just before you're going to have your lunch, 1 time just before you're going to have your dinner, and 1 time just before you're going to sleep. Be very conscious of your breath and take these 5 deep breaths. And every time you're doing that, say thank you for the magical air that I breathe. And be as genuinely grateful as you can for the precious life giving air that you breathe. It is best if you can do this magical practice outside so you can really feel and appreciate the magnificence of fresh air. But if that's not possible, then do it inside. You can close your eyes while taking the breaths, or you can do it with your eyes open. You can do it while you're walking, waiting in line, shopping, or anywhere at any time you want. The important thing is to deliberately feel the feeling of the air going in and out of your body. Breathe the way you naturally breathe, because this magical practice is not about your breathing but about your gratitude for the air you breathe. So not every time you have to keep saying that, okay, I'm going to take 5 deep breaths and I'm going to consciously keep counting how many counts for a, for taking the breath in, and how many counts for holding, and how many counts for breathing out. It's not about the breathing exercise, but to shift it and to say, and that's the reason why 3 times alone I made you do it with breathing in mind, but 2 times was about the gratitude you feel while you are breathing it. If taking a bigger breath helps you to feel more gratitude, then do that. If it helps to make a sound or mentally say the magic words, thank you, as you breathe the air out, then do that. If you want, you can do a variation of this practice in the future by imagining that you're breathing in gratitude and filling yourself up with it with every breath you take. In ancient teachings, it is said that when a person reaches the point of being deeply grateful for the air that they breathe, their gratitude will have reached a new level of power, and they will have become the true alchemist. And you can effortlessly turn every part of their life into gold. Now, alchemist is a person who has the ability to turn anything into gold. So, if you really want to magically transform everything around your life, it has to start by showing gratitude for the very basis of your life on earth, which is the first thing, the air that you breathe. She's already spoken about the water that you drink, the food that we eat, all those we have done in the previous chapters. Now she's coming into very deep exercises, the air that we breathe. Magic practice number 23, the magical air that you breathe. Count your blessings. Make a list of 10 blessings. Write why you're grateful. Reread your list, and at the end of each blessing, say thank you, thank you, thank you, and feel as grateful for that blessing as you can. 5 times today, stop and think about the glorious air that you breathe. Take 5 deliberate breaths and feel the feeling of the air moving inside your body, and feel the joy of breathing it out. After you have taken the 5 breaths, say the magic words, thank you for the magical air that I breathe. Be as grateful as you can for the precious, life giving air that you breathe. Just before you go to sleep tonight, hold your magic rock in one hand and say the magic words, thank you for the best thing that happened during the day. Okay, so that's the chapters for today. The first chapter was about writing your desires list down and putting it in a place where you can constantly see it, behind your cell phone, in your wallet, on your mirror, somewhere that you're constantly in connection with it. And 2 times today during the day, go over the list again and say thank you so much for all the beautiful things that are happening. And 5 times during the day, actually 1 time we've already done it as an exercise right now, but 4 more times during the day. 1 time I would suggest immediately when you sit down to write down your 10 blessings. Please write it down, do the exercise at this moment itself, and say thank you so much for the magical air that I breathe. And 3 more times during the day, or 4 more times during the day, once before your breakfast, once before your lunch, once before your dinner, and once before you go to sleep. Please write, please say, or be mindfully practicing the air that you're breathing in. And we're doing it consciously. So those of us who are doing pranayam excuse me, those of us who are doing pranayam, now you can just add a sentence over there every day. Thank you so much for the magical air that I breathe. So it just becomes a part of your system. So again and again, she's giving us various tools to be practiced all through the day. And there's absolutely no harm if one day you did not say a thank you, if one day you did not do it, as long as you're sustaining your 10 blessings, as long as you're sustaining your magic rock. These are your vitamins, these are your life saving drugs, if I may say so. And these are what are very, very vital. You cannot do without them anymore. That's how you should say that. I can't even eat my food till I have not written my blessings list down. I can't even go to sleep till I have not held my magic rock in my hand. That should become your second nature. And that is what is very important. All these other things that she's telling us, whether it is the magical check, whether it is the writing on your bills, whether it is saying thank you for the food, the air that we breathe, the magic dust, relationships, all these are add-ons. And I'm again and again reiterating that these two practices in themselves will be making your life so much more beautiful and putting you in that whole space of gratitude. So these two are extremely vital. And apart from that, she's giving you so many tools. Like when we practice pranayam today, now we're just going to add another line to it. Thank you so much for the magical air that I breathe. When I have my food, I say my grace and I say thank you so much for the food that I have on my table, deliciously cooked, beautifully blessed, such positive thoughts, sprinkling it with a little magic ingredient. Once in a while, going back to the whole process that we had done, from the farmer to the packer to the distributor to coming into a grocery store. We go through the entire process once in a while. We don't have to do it on an everyday basis. So these are all little tools that we can keep practicing as and when we want. And on the last day, I will get you to do an exercise about what are the three things apart from the magic rock and the 10 blessings. What are the next three things that you will do every single day? And it can be a different thing for different people. Some things you have resonated with and you said, nahi, this is something to I have to add every single day. So that's going to be a very personal lesson for each of y'all, which we will do on the last day. So today was about your dreams and desires, and about the air that you breathe and how much gratitude we need to have that we have the air. And we need to be so thankful that our planet earth is at the right place for all these things to happen. Okay, so that's about it from my side. So any queries, any questions, anything you didn't understand? Yes.
Uh,
Ruchi,
Yeah, Rachna.
Rachna,
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you that air, when we are sitting and breathing in and out, whether it's a pranayam time or before your lunch or before dinner and all that,
Anytime,
that
yeah.
we need to do. But do we need to do the practice of blessing the water or the magic of
That's
water?
that's
Uh,
up to you. That's up to you. Today's concentration is on the air.
that's it. Okay.
That's
Okay.
it. Today it is only on the air. But of course, you don't have to stop yourself and say, okay, I'm only going to talk about the air today. I'm still going to have my food and I will still say my grace for that. I'll still say my gratitude for my water. All that goes on. But the concentration today, 5 times, has to be on the air that you breathe. Okay, and
Okay.
taking those 5 deep breaths in, and with every breath saying, thank you for the magical air that I breathe. That is what we have to concentrate on. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes.
Ruchi.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Thank you so much, Didi.
Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Uh, yeah. Yeah, Renu.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
was just wondering, like, is it not possible to write your 10 blessings
Hmm.
in the night when before holding the rock, or after holding the rock? Because sometimes in the mornings can be a little hurried or difficult. Is it
So,
possible to do that?
okay. Okay, I'm going to answer this question with a very nice quote that I like. And they say, if you're very busy, then it's all the more reason that you would spend 1 hour in meditation.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So when we are very, very busy, is all the more reason that we take some time out mindfully for ourselves. Okay. And the reason why she's asking us to do the practice in the morning is because it sets the tone for the day, right? And she's making you recall everything beautiful that happened yesterday,
Yes.
right? So she's already putting you in a space of gratitude. So you start your day on a very high note by saying, I had such a beautiful day yesterday. I had such a magical day yesterday. So many beautiful things happened. So many magnificent outcomes were there. So many blessings came my way. So many unexpected things happened, which I'm so grateful for. So all those things you recall. So you recall your day actually twice. Once when you are sleeping at night, you take the
Night. Yeah.
magic rock and you're recalling the entire day, and you're saying, what's the best thing that happened amongst all these things? And you sleep that night through. And morning, you again start by recalling everything beautiful that happened yesterday and by saying all these things happened. So you're already in a space of gratitude. So you start your day on a note of gratitude. There's no harm. There are a lot of people who write down their blessings at night. I would say do it 2 times, but definitely don't not do it in the morning. So that is because it sets the tone for the morning, and it also gives you that little time with yourself before you get into the rush of things. So if you think that if I take 15 minutes in the morning, my breakfast get delayed by 15 minutes, then start waking up 15 minutes earlier, because you can't compromise on your me time, because when you wake up late, you're in a hurry, you're in a hassle space. It's about calming yourself down, spending that time with yourself. And in fact, Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. club, I just adore that book for all the practices he's given over there. And he says it's the power of hour. It's the it's your 1 hour of power. And how do you divide this up? With 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and 20 minutes. 20 minutes are spent in gratitude, in meditation, in journaling, where you are writing something down, when you are visualizing, when you're recalling your day. That is your 20 minutes. 20 minutes are spent on exercise, which is what you're doing something for your physical body. And 20 minutes are spent in learning something new. So actually, it is for your mind, body, and soul. So for your body, you're doing 20 minutes of exercise. For your mind, you're reading something which is going to help in your growth. And please, reading newspapers in any way is not for your growth at all. So please don't count reading newspapers as anything that is augmenting your growth. In no way is it augmenting your growth. So please don't read your newspapers first thing in the morning. Even if you want to read it, please read it only in the second half of the day, not in the first half of the day. So 20 minutes of reading something, or it could even be some podcast that you're listening to, or a video which is motivational and you're seeing it, whatever. But 20 minutes are spent in some kind of a growth, which is for your mind. And 20 minutes is for your soul, which can either be through gratitude or it can be through journaling. Actually, gratitude is like journaling. And 20 minutes for your or meditation, whichever way you want to break it up. So that 1 hour with yourself. One more reason why all of us are feeling so charged and so happy is because this 1 hour, undiluted, undistracted, that you are spending with me and I'm spending with you. And that is what is energizing you, right? So this hour that you spend with yourself is extremely important. And Robin Sharma has given us a fantastic breakup of 20, 20, 20. 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of meditation, gratitude, journaling, anything you want to do, and 20 minutes or even forgiveness, 20 minutes where you spend that day and you forgive people, which is also a part of cleansing your soul. And then 20 minutes is for your mind, where you're learning something new. So that 1 hour with yourself is very, very important. Okay. So definitely spend that in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that
Thank
answer your question? Yeah.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Ruchi, can I say something?
Yeah. Sure. Sure, Archana. Yes.
Okay, now I have been following you and all these practices. I have been doing everything.
Yeah.
But one thing I've gotten to realize that this entire
Archana, your
thing,
voice is.
existence is all about gratitude.
Yes.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now it's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I've gotten to understand is that this entire exercise, our very being, is basically about having gratitude.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even when I sat down to write my dream list, it's not that I didn't have dreams.
Hmm.
Yes, there are a lot of things I would love to have in my life.
Hmm.
But do I need, what I wanted to understand is, do I need to want it so badly for it to manifest itself?
Yes.
It's like, for me, I was like, I am happy. I would like that, but I am happy even here.
Hmm.
So is that the wrong attitude to have?
No, it's not the wrong attitude. And I don't know whether we'll have the time, and anybody who wants to leave, thank you very much, it's absolutely fine because it's 7:05, and if you want to carry on with your other things. But in psychology we learn something called Maslow's hierarchy. Have you heard of that term?
No.
Okay, so
What? Sorry,
Maslow's,
can you repeat that,
yeah,
Ruchi?
it's called Maslow's hierarchy. And what I will do today is I will just send a picture of it on the group. All right. Don't get baffled about it. It's absolutely fine because these are very deep practices that we learn in NLP, that we do in psychotherapy, and all of that. But basically, what Maslow's hierarchy says is we have needs. Okay.
We
And
have
we have needs. We all
need.
have needs. Okay. And we have these level of needs. So our basic needs are food, clothing, shelter. Then our next need is to be safe. The need after that is love and to feel the belongingness. After that is when we want self-esteem or we want to be recognized. Then the highest one is self-actualization, which is at a very, very high level, where we don't want anything materialistically for ourselves, but we want to grow and we want to give back.
Right.
Okay. So now, if you are having this kind of a confusion, it's because your needs are different and what you're manifesting is different. Okay. So if your needs are not about food, clothing, shelter, because that's not what you're resonating with, but your need is, say, for maybe love, your need is for security, your need is for self-esteem, for being recognized, or your need is at the highest level where you want to give back. That is the level of your hierarchy. Okay, I don't know if I'm making sense because it's very, very deep as a subject. So what is your need really? And maybe your goals and desires you're writing is at a different level. So that is why you're not strongly feeling towards your goals and desires, right? So I'll give you an example. Suppose my need is that I want to make life beautiful for 10,000 people around me. Right now, I am in a space of self actualization, and so I have that as a need. That is my space. That's my mental space. But if I write down on my goals and desires that I want, say, a dog, or I want, say, a beautiful relationship with, say, my mother in law, or any of these things, then I am in disconnect between that and this. So, along with my basic needs, I also need to have needs which are in sync with my hierarchy level. I don't know. You're looking confused. So I don't know whether I'm making any sense to you or to anybody else. But it's a very, very deep subject. Archana, I don't know. I think you're stuck or, yeah? Can you unmute yourself? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So did it make any sense to you?
A little bit, but I'm still like, my husband always keeps telling me that you should always want something. Only then you will achieve it. That,
Yeah.
he would always tell me you should never be complacent. And I
So,
always tell him, no, but I'm happy where I am.
yes,
But
yes,
he says, no, you should have that need to, then only then you will achieve it.
yeah.
So I don't resonate with that,
Right. That's what
when
I'm
he
saying.
says that,
That's what
it
I'm
doesn't
saying.
make
That
sense to me.
your needs and desires are not very materialistic. Your needs
Maybe,
and
but
desires,
it's not that I don't enjoy them. I would love to
that's
have
okay.
them.
That's fine. But what do you desire? Something that you really deeply want. So if you get a diamond ring, it's okay. If you don't get a diamond ring, it's okay.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
So maybe you
Right.
are resonating at a different level, which means I really desire to give back. And my purpose is now to find out what is it that I really desire? What is my purpose in life? Okay. And then to align it with your dreams and desires, then you will really want it to manifest.
Okay.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
Kind of. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will post that Maslow's hierarchy for anybody who wants to, or maybe I'll post a video on the Maslow's hierarchy. Maybe that'll be easier for everyone to follow, because this is a very deep concept where what is it that I really desire? And what level am I at? And Maslow's hierarchy then keeps questioning us again and again on even when you want to change a job. Sometimes, like this is something which happened with me when I wanted to leave Sisha, there was no reason for me to leave it. I was very happy. I was much loved by the kids, by the parents, by my management, by my colleagues. I was very happy teaching the kids, but there was something which was empty in me. There was something that I felt was not complete, something that said, I need to do something more than this. And that's when I had moved up on my hierarchy, on my Maslow's hierarchy. I didn't want the money that my job was getting. I did not want the love, the security, because all those I already had. So I wanted to now move to something else, which that environment was not giving me. And then, like the guru appears at the right time, and Murli came and made that statement to you and said, when are you going to leave school? And that kind of, nailed it for me and said, yes, I am feeling that discomfort. So maybe it is time for me to move out. So it's about the space you are in right now, right? And there's nothing good or bad. There's nothing bad about being in a space where you want these material things. I still have on my list the material things I want. I still deeply desire my dog, so it is still there, right?
Yeah, even I do have. I would love to have so many things,
Right.
but it's not that I cannot do without it. I'm quite happy even if I don't have it.
Yes,
So
but
I feel I'm not manifesting my dreams. I'm not saturating them to that level what I should be saturating them.
yes, so that is because you are not connecting with something deeper. Okay, something that you really desire, which need not be food, clothing, shelter, love, security. It need not be these lower levels of needs. It's probably a higher level of need. Okay, so the minute, suppose people who do social service, right, look at the space they are coming from.
Yes.
Their only deep desire is to give back, and in giving back is where they get a lot of their joy. So, what is it that you can resonate with?
Correct. Okay.
Now, does it make a little sense? I can't make out. I think she's.
Yes, it does. It does. Get that right in my head first. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're
Am I
audible.
audible?
Yeah,
Yeah. I need to get those thoughts right in my head first.
yes. So, I'll send you this. I will be posting the link on the Maslow's hierarchy. Just go over it. It's a beautiful concept. There's nothing right or wrong. Okay. So, if you are desiring material things, you're not wrong. Let's not misunderstand that. You have to move through it as a process. Who are the ones who don't desire material things? Only those who have it in plenty and who have given a lot of gratitude to it. They are the ones who say, हमको फर्क नहीं पड़ता हमारे पास designer कपड़े हो या ना हो, because tomorrow, any day you want to go and buy it, you
You
have the
can.
means to do it.
Yes.
That's when we don't do it. But ask somebody who doesn't have the means to it, but they are, putting their savings aside in order to get that one beautiful dress that they have seen. And, they actually even have more value for it than when we have not worked towards it.
That's very true, actually. That's really true. We don't understand when somebody else wants something, and we always wonder, why does she want? We don't realize because it's so easily accessible to us.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's so true what you said.
Yeah, I remember the first pair of earrings I got made from my savings, from my Lady Andal salary. It's a beautiful amethyst little piece. It's probably one of my cheapest jewelry that I have made, but it's one of my most favorite ones because I know how much I had to really work and save and mindfully put that money aside so consciously कि अच्छा मुझे ये नहीं करना है, because I want that one amethyst because I love
Yes.
that color, I love that stone. So that one stone and that one earring is so precious to me because of the amount of time and energy I put into it to getting it. And then, when you start growing, when money comes more easily, the other pieces of jewelry which are more expensive are not so dear to you as the first one that you made.
Yes, yes, because there's a lot of energy that flows into getting that.
Yeah. So now what I want you to do is aspire for something which is not easy for you to get. You are looking at all the things which are easy for you to get. Maybe not immediately, but maybe in the next 6 months or 10 months. You've not really visualized something which is out of your reach completely right now. Right? Which need not be something material.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
And then with the deep desires, you will manifest it.
I get you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know if I made sense to the others, but
No, no. Okay. Sorry.
yeah, because I can see a lot of one second. I can see a lot of people saying a thank you or their notes or the sync is disturbed. Okay. Didi says the movie Kick by Salman. I don't know. I haven't watched the movie Kick, so I don't know what this is about. Maybe it's something to do with desires that she's written. Okay. Thank you for bringing this up, explaining it. I will not have understood it perfectly, but I'm hopeful that I'm in a space where I can. Yes. Mahatya says you can have this and that. You can have materialistic growth and spiritual growth simultaneously. Thank you so much, Rachna, for sharing that. Thank you for the sharings and doubts. It answered a lot of questions. Thank you. So I don't know
Ruchi?
whether, it resonated with you, whether it made sense to you, but I will post that Maslow's hierarchy. So see it. If you understand,
Yes.
it's great. And
Ruchi,
otherwise, yes.
I'm
Sorry,
Madhu
who's this?
here.
Yeah, hi,
Madhu here.
Madhu. Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Madhu, just 1 second. Archana, does that answer your question vaguely?
I think it does. Yes. It just needs a lot more of deeper thinking
Thought.
from me.
Yes, yes. Okay, and send me out a message anytime and I'll respond back.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you, Ruchi.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Madhu?
Archana. Yeah, sorry, Ruchi.
Yeah.
It's in line with Archana's message,
Yeah.
her doubt. So, can it happen that you don't want the materialistic things? You want it for your family, for your children, for your husband. You are happy where you are with whatever the worldly things. I mean, you are content soul, or you are happy where you are. But you definitely want it for your family
Okay.
because it's a need of the hour, or it is needed for whatever, to fulfill their dreams, their aspirations, and everything.
Okay.
And you are in a spiritual journey where you want to grow. And still, if we do this gratitude exercise, will it really work, Ruchi? So I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm kind
So,
of a
okay.
bit confused with the material
Okay,
world and the
I
spiritual
hear
world.
what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. So these gratitude or this is for you on your journey. And the way you will
Okay.
not manifest it is because you don't resonate with that desire. You're desiring it for somebody else. It's not for yourself.
Yes.
But tell me one thing,
Yes.
will you be using it also? Suppose you say you want a BMW car,
Of
okay?
course, I'll
But
be using it.
yes. So then, if you are going to use it and if you can show gratitude that it's going to make it, it's going to be more easier for me to travel. It's a smoother car. It's got a better engine.
Yeah.
There's less noise in it, less disturbance in it. It's got better features in the interiors. If you manifest it and say that these are things I enjoy, about the car,
Okay.
then probably you'll manifest it.
Okay.
Okay, because you yourself in that picture is very important. It's not
Okay.
about the other people,
Okay.
and you can't desire it for them.
Okay.
Right? And especially if you are disconnected, like you said, you are on a spiritual journey and others are on a materialistic journey or whatever, and there's nothing wrong, like pointed out by Rachna. No, this is, it's like the this and the that. You can get this also, you can get that also. This is what you need for your body, that is what you need for your soul.
Okay.
So what you resonate with is what you will draw out to yourself. So make your goals or make your desires, because you resonate more with spirituality, with that in mind. So for me, when I say that I want to do a Vipassana, it
Okay.
is for my spiritual growth. But when I
Yes.
say I want a dog, it is because for my love goals. It's because of my happiness that I will get by getting a dog, because of everything that I desire around a dog. And then if I say I want to get, say, a Radu watch, then that's my materialistic thing, which is I say that I'm going to just so enjoy the whole feeling, because, you know, so much hard work has also gone to get that watch for yourself. You worked really hard. I'm not desiring it from somebody else gifting it to me. I'm
Right.
not
Right.
doing that. I'm desiring
Right.
it for me to be able to buy it for myself.
Right.
It's just
Okay.
an example. I don't like watches too much, but I'm just saying that's
No, no,
just
no. I
on the
understand. I
top of my
understand what
mind.
you're trying
No,
to
no,
say.
I'm just saying, you know, on a lighter note, I'm just saying, yes, definitely I desire a Vipassana, I desire a dog, I desire a lot of other things, but that's not something I desire. But there are material things that we may desire from time to time. I desire
Yes.
a lot of experiences. So I want to visit a whole lot of places. But I
Right.
also desire to have the money to pay for my child's college education.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but you need to have that desire very clear for yourself in order to manifest it. That is very important.
Okay. Why I asked this question is I
Yes.
was not able to write my desire list because of this confusion of,
Yes.
the spiritual and the material, and I didn't know where the gratitude should go for me to
Yeah.
grow.
Perfect.
Whether I want to grow in the spiritual path or
Yes.
whether
Yes.
I need to the. So that was the confusion, and now
Yeah.
I think it's clear. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Ruchi.
I'm so happy to hear that. And thank you so much, Archana, for bringing it up, because I'm sure it's a question that a lot of people probably had, but they didn't know how to frame it. They didn't know how to ask it. So thank you so much for asking that question. And I hope I've done a little justice to it. And
Yeah, it took me 3 days to frame the question myself.
Archana, your
I didn't
connectivity
know
is
how to
poor.
put it across.
Your connectivity is poor. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
much better.
So I said it took me 3 to 4 days to put the question across because I didn't know how to frame it myself.
Right. No, I'm so glad you asked it, and you know, people could resonate, or people could really understand what it came, and also the confusions you're having in your mind. You know, so I'm so glad that it came up. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Archana. Thank you,
Ruchi?
Ruchi.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ruchi ma'am,
Yes. Sorry. Who's this?
Chetna here.
Yeah, Chetna. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, like you said that we have to saturate our desire list.
Yeah.
But then there are certain things I'm not very sure. Like I know that I want to be earning this much, but I don't know by when. And I don't know what is a career path I want to choose. But then
Okay.
I want to have one. So how do I really put it in detail? Like, I know
So
that this is
when
the
you
house. This is the
okay.
kind of house I want, but I don't know where and how many square feet. Like, of course, I have an idea, but
Right.
then by when and how do I go about that? Because I've made my desire list 2 to 3 times and I'm not very sure, if this is the one that I really want.
Okay, all right. So, amongst everything that you have written down, out of say 20 things, 25 things, or how many ever you have written down, select 10. Okay, even if you don't have the details in terms of the square feet, but you do know how you want your house to look. If you don't have clarity on that, start going through some magazines, start looking at some pictures, and when you see it outside, you will see the picture and you said, ha, ऐसा ही घर मेरे को चाहिए, ऐसे ही मेरे को tiles चाहिए, ऐसा ही मेरे को ये चाहिए, or whatever. Then you will start getting ideas from the pictures that you see. Okay, so
I
that
have done that.
okay.
I have done that, but for me, like for my career and if I want to
Yeah,
earn
I'm
something,
coming to that.
yeah,
I'm coming to that. Now you know that you want to make an X amount of money. How you're going to make it, by when you're going to make it, that's not important. But having made that money, how are you feeling? That is more important. So when these doubts and these, these questions come in, we are already coming into a space of not having faith. And when we don't have faith, we're not going to manifest the magic into our lives. So, what you need to manifest here is the money that you are making every month, how that makes you feel, how it makes you feel like an established person, an accomplished person, an empowered person. What are you going to do with the money you have made? Are you going to be making savings for your child? Are you going to be investing in something? Are you going to buy jewelry for yourself? Are you going to buy yourself a car? How are you feeling about yourself with the money you have made? That is how what you saturate. Don't go into the how, don't go into the when. What you have to saturate is on how you feel when you have got that. That is more important.
Okay, because I was really confused. I made the desire list 2 times, 3 times, but I was not sure,
Right.
because I constantly kept thinking that whatever you're writing doesn't look logical. My husband was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But then I said,
Doesn't
nahi,
matter.
ye likhna hai.
No, please go ahead and write that, but saturate it. And see, remember the dustbin example I gave in the morning. All
Yes.
these doubts, all these things that we question ourselves are actually everything which is there in that dirty basket, and we need to remove that out in order to become a clean basket, and then we begin to magically manifest things. So these doubts, this is also a form of negativity. Even though it is not coming from anywhere outside, it is still a form of negativity, because you cannot have faith and doubt at the same time.
Exactly, and that is the exact reason why I haven't written the magic check yet, because मैं सोच रही हूँ कि I don't know from where the money will come, because
that's not your problem. That's not your problem.
Okay. So I need to come from another space now, maybe think of, like you said, the experience rather than how it will come.
Yeah, that's not your problem. Your focus has to only be to clear out your own dustbin first. And that's the reason why I gave that example. If Babita was able to manifest this in her life, it's because she's already on a very high energy in terms of her meditations, in terms of the way they are, both the sisters for that matter, the teachings and all of that. It's because they have a lot of cleanliness in their dustbin.
I actually missed that her sharing, so I have to go back on
maybe
YouTube.
go back and just see
on the YouTube,
that, because it'll really help you with that, because that's what is making the manifestation happen in their lives. So that clarity has to come in from your side. So those doubts and those things that you are not sure about, those are all the dirty things in your dustbin, and it needs to be cleaned out first.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I ask one more question, Ruchi?
Yeah, sure, Archana. Can we just make it
sorry if I'm taking too much of your time.
Yeah, no problem. But can we just make it a little quick? I just saw that it's almost 7:27, and Pinky also had raised her hand. She wanted to say something about Maslow's hierarchy. Okay, so let's make it quick. Yes.
Okay. So now that you were telling Chetna that you don't have to worry from where it is coming, but do we have to put in our efforts of working towards it?
Absolutely. So that is why when one of the chapters we had done was about your magical to-do list, and I said the desire that you have, align it with your to-do list. Okay, so my desire is to have the body of, say, Kareena Kapoor. But on my to-do list, I'm going to have vada today. I'm going to have aloo paratha today. I'm going to eat that. You are not in sync with what your desire is. So that action you'll have to take. Okay, action has to come from you, right? So even if it is like I explained, suppose you're saving up for a beautiful ring. So the action that you take today is to say, I'm going to put aside 10,000 rupees. That's my first step towards moving towards my desire.
I got you. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Pinky, we're going to take the last question or last sharing, and then we call it a day. Yes.
So, Ruchi, good morning, and good morning to everyone. So, this is not regarding the Maslow hierarchy, but I have one question. How do I manifest good health for my loved one? How
For
do I
your
write
loved
it?
ones.
Yes.
Yeah. So just by saying one, if you can give them that note, the gift of life is the gift of health is keeping me alive. If that is something you can get them to speak, or even if they don't say it, if you can put it in a place where aate jate bhool se bhi they will see it.
Okay.
Okay, so they will start reading it, and then in your dreams or desires or something, you can say, all my loved ones, you can even name them, are in great health and great body and are living a joyous life, right? You
Okay.
can do that for them, but it best happens when they do it for themselves.
I have told them, but every time I
Exactly.
feel that I should also
Yeah,
uh, pray
fair
for
enough.
them so that they can have a good health
Yes,
sooner.
yes, you can do
So,
that.
okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a
So
good day.
thank you so much for everybody with your sharings, your doubt clearings, with all of that. On that note, let's go back. We're going to thank the air that we breathe today, and we're going to go back to our dreams and desires, and we're going to say, keep it in a place where we keep seeing it over and over again. Okay. And I hope Archana, Chetna, and Madhu, you'll get a little help or clarity on writing down your dreams and desires. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a beautiful, magical day. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you,
Ruchi.
Thank
Ruchi.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Thank you so
you.
Ruchi.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yes.
Thank you, Ruchi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruchi.
Yeah. Yes,
Thank you,
Anita, we
Ruchi.
can have a day together. Thank you so much.